Well, let's go now to a twist today on a story we've been following for a while. About a year and a half ago, the Eugene Weekly newspaper found out that someone was embezzling from them, taking tens of thousands of dollars. The paper's editor says it could be as high as $300,000. Now, it nearly caused the paper to close for good before being saved by the community, who stepped up in a huge way. Now, earlier this month, the paper's former business manager was arrested in Ohio for the crime. But at first, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek's office said the state was not going to pay for her to be extradited back to Oregon to face charges. They said the Lane County DA could pay for it. More on that later. But this afternoon, after we asked the governor's office why the state wouldn't pay, they told us, actually, the governor changed her mind. Here's what happened. Eugene's Weekly's former business manager, Elisha Young, was arrested in Whitehall, Ohio during a traffic stop. She had a nationwide warrant against her after a grand jury indicted her for embezzlement. But days later, she was released from custody because Oregon decided not to extradite her. Here's Camilla Mortensen, Eugene Weekly's editor-in-chief.
I was stunned, and I think it was unexpected for the local law enforcement as well, who've put so much effort into this. I had been following, looking online. I saw that she had been arrested. I saw that it was in the courts, and then I saw she was no longer in jail. And I thought, well, is this part of the extradition process? What's happening? And finally, I reached out and I contacted the DA and Eugene Police to ask what had happened. And that was when I found out that within days of her arrest and within, I think, like an hour of their request for the extradition, that the extradition had been turned down by the governor's office. And I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it. My staff wasn't expecting it. And we were floored.
Okay, so we reached out to the governor's office today to ask why someone accused of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars would not be brought back to the state to face charges. They responded that the state does not have the money to extradite every fugitive. But they said that in this case, the governor changed course. They told us, quote, after further consideration and reflecting on the impact to the broader community by the theft committed against the Eugene Weekly, the governor directed staff today to approve the extradition. Extradition requests are evaluated under the governor's office's policy guidelines, with exceptions considered on a case-by-case basis. Now, we asked how much it would cost to extradite Young, and they didn't answer. But the district attorney in Lane County, who's prosecuting this case, gave us his estimate today.
I estimate that it would be somewhere, in the $3,000 to $6,000 range, which in and of itself isn't a great deal of money, of course, to a community. It's not nothing. But this was bigger than that. For me, this was about the larger principle of the matter, in that the Eugene Police Department or the Lane County District Attorney's Office could find money, though our budgets are tight, to ultimately pay for the extradition of this individual. But we're not funded for that. We don't have, as a part of our routine budgets, a extradition fund. So, yeah, we could have probably scrambled, and frankly, our community was great. I can't tell you how many emails and calls I got saying that they would be willing to start a GoFundMe or something to pay for the extradition of this person.
Okay, but here's the problem. Yes, the governor changed her mind and will pay to bring Young back, but she was already released from custody in Ohio as this whole who will pay for it drama played out. So now the Lane County DA has to reissue the nationwide warrant and wait to see if Young gets arrested again in order to bring her back to Oregon.